Okay, that's a great question. So, what is Red Lodge?
Yeah, I would say Red Lodge is a place where you can truly engage with your mind, body, spirit in a way that helps you to really find the fullest expression of your heart's desire and to get out of your own way to create a life that's truly meaningful and the fullest expression of what truly brings you fulfillment and also pushes your edge to grow and evolve as a person.
A way, an opportunity to study for your own education, for your own inspiration, and for your own maturation.
And it's an experience where you learn new wisdom that you can apply in your life, as well as deeper insights to your own healing, to really understand your natural self and to peel away the layers of those parts of you that are not your natural self.
So, what we're studying inside of the shamanic body of knowledge in Red Lodge is how do I, as a human being, walk on in my life in the best way possible? And how do I do that in relationship to myself, to other humans, and then to all of what is around us?
It's a longhouse, which is one of the traditional old ways of where the tribal people would gather together. They would eat together, they would live together for a period of time, sometimes a very long time. They would learn together. And so we have adopted that name Longhouse as a representation of people, students, interested seekers gathering together and learning and growing together.
It's basically a year-long program where we meet together, we share teachings that are very insightful and really elicit kind of self-exploration. And then we also apply ceremonial experiences that integrate what you learn together in the classroom.
They work with whatever is necessary at that time to mature, to grow, to learn, and to evolve.
Red Lodge is a program for those who are seeking a better version of themselves, looking for a community of like-minded people they can connect with and grow with.
So there's a lot to learn and there's a lot to experience. And it's really to support us to be good humans.
It's a lot. Red Lodge is a lot. Yeah.
Who might come to Red Lodge? Well, you might be someone who comes to Red Lodge.
There are certain qualities that are important if you decide you might like to check it out. Check out Red Lodge, find out what it is about.
Red Lodge is really for that individual who is naturally a lifelong learner, someone with a growth mindset that's curious about kind of the bigger concepts of the universe, someone that's looking for a way to find a deeper spiritual connection for themselves and a way to feel and experience that deeper level of consciousness and connection, and someone who really loves doing that within community.
One of the qualities that's needed is an ability to be open-minded. It's not about believing anything. In fact, we always say, don't believe anything we say, test it out. But it's about being willing to open your mind, to take information in, let it percolate and see, does it work for me?
Red Lodge is deeply fulfilling for the individual, but what's unique is you don't have to do it by yourself, like reading a book or going to a workshop. You're actually interconnected with a larger community. This path is not meant for someone to do alone. It's meant that we all support and empower one another in our personal growth and development.
Another quality I'd say is that there needs to be a willingness to use the information, to try it out, to put it into your life and see, does it do something for me? And if it doesn't, let it go. You could have an incredible smorgasbord in front of you, but if you don't take your plate and go up to those dishes and put them on your plate and eat them, Well, then this smorgasbord is just sitting there and you're not getting the benefit. So
I remember when I was first introduced to the teachings, I had already explored several different arenas, but when I found the sweet medicine teachings, I went, oh my goodness, they bring all of the different aspects of a human together. There's emotional well-being, there's physical mastery training, there's a lot of knowledge to help make sense out of the world, and there is that hungry spirit that gets fed because we're brought back into connection with the source of life.
So Red Lodge meets the individual where they are and wherever they are in their own spiritual development and curiosity.
do you have to be in a certain walk of life? Do you have to be a certain age? Do you have to be a certain gender? No. You just have to be a human being that likes to learn and grow. Red Lodge has a very interesting structure. In our modern day, the way that we've been able to craft it is that Red Lodge will meet 5 weekends and 1 week where we all get together, live on the land, and do ceremony together.
It's an initiation, it's an introduction to our sweet medicine SunDance teachings. And those are the beginnings of how to, for us as modern individuals, to reconnect with the worlds of what we call Grandmother Earth. The worlds like the plants, the animals, the minerals, and to really create and recreate for us a more balanced life.
So there are 4 years within Red Lodge, and you can choose to take year 1, and that could be it, and it could feed you for the rest of your life, and that's all you need. But there's also the 2nd year and a 3rd year and a 4th year. And over the period of those 4 years, there is a building of knowledge, a building of skills, and also a movement through what we call the ceremonial process.
But the weekend itself, we always gather in community with drumming and singing. We always start our weekends with ceremony. And within that weekend, there's a combination of teachings that are experiential and as well as ceremony. And any one weekend might have multiple ceremonial experiences that integrate what you're learning.
Each ceremony is so unique that it's not really possible to describe what ceremony is, except to say that it's an opportunity for you, for me, to connect directly with spirit and have nothing in between, no interpreter. You can use your own term, but the idea is that we are interconnected with that energy, and ceremony supports us to have those experiences of being interconnected.
So what's really unique about Red Lodge and this path is that it's like personal growth and development on steroids. Because when you get new teachings and new wisdom and you apply it to yourself within a ceremony, the alchemy of our lineage is so profound that it takes the teachings to a much deeper level of integration, even within one weekend. That it's a very efficient way when you get new teachings in combination with ceremony. It really supports a rapid, deep, sustainable transformation.
We can share together, where we can learn together, and where we can create more harmony in how we live our life.
These teachings are very ancient. This is a lineage that was founded so long ago, before the formalized cultures and tribes that we know today.
People from all different traditions and shamanic understanding, spiritual understanding, came together to meet over a long period of time to share the best knowledge that they had to offer.
It was always an oral tradition, and our school was actually started in 1254, and it was originally called the Rattlesnake School of Turtle Island. And so it would have been the original landmass of North, Central, South America, parts of Australia, New Zealand, before all of these continents split and drifted.
So the Twisted Hairs were men and women who roamed the land, who were seekers of knowledge.
This original lineage is called a twisted hairs lineage because they brought in different braids of wisdom from different tribes, from different cultures. They tested to see what works. They brought it all together in a hair braid, which would be a plait in Australian language.
So, you know, if you have one hair, it's not as strong as if you have three. And if you have a bunch of hairs all braided together like this, it's even stronger. And so the idea was that each lineage that came together were seeking, and they were seeking to know more.
And so they traveled the land and gathered the best of the knowledge from many, many different peoples and many, many different tribes and nations, and they would test them out to see. Wasn't good enough that it just worked in one place. It had to work and feed and nourish the people in many locations and over a long period of time.
And then they would all disperse, bring this information home to their people where they came from, wherever it was they came from, and looked to see, did this support the people? Did it help the people grow?
And then these individuals actually were designated as those teachers and healers that would take these teachings out to the people. Were just brilliant in their understanding of the universe, of the stars, of the plants, of healing properties.
And this is where the Red Lodge teachings come from, where sweet medicine comes from.
Our actual lineage that we study, that's called the Sweet Medicine SunDance Path, was actually founded in the 1970s when the original elders took a vote and they recognized that it was time to bring these teachings out into the world to anyone who wanted to learn them, and to not just keep them hidden away or available to just certain indigenous populations.
And most recently, like about 50 years ago, it was opened to all races, all creeds.
Around 1986 or so, it was more formalized by creating an organization that would hold and protect or guide the dissemination of the knowledge, the Deer Tribe, Métis Medicine Society.
The Twisted Hair Nagual elders are the ones that actually had the mandate for our teacher, Thunder Strikes, to develop the Sweet Medicine SunDance Path, to spark this international spiritual community, because the teachings are so profoundly healing and evolutionary.
They were shared, learned, and then shared by Thunder Strikes to us as his students, and giving us the mandate to then continue to share them wherever we could for people who were seeking to find, again, that return to balance and harmony.
And then here we are now with access to this incredible body of knowledge that these spiritual seekers gathered over hundreds of years.
So as a Twisted Hair's path, and this was so true for our teacher, Thunder Strikes, that it honors all ways to the light. There's not just one way. This is not a religion. This path is a spiritual journey that can marry quite nicely with other spiritual ways. And our teacher, Thunder Strikes, he used to say you should have 3 paths, that honoring other paths that you can bring in and sort of cross-train into this path is an important part of how we stay out of dogma, how we keep that open viewpoint to see other ways. Many of you actually have already had experiences. You've done some exploring and seeking. You've tried some things. You might already be part of a yoga community or meditation community.
There is an ongoing respect for the differences, for the gifts, for the diversity of how human beings have learned to listen to spirit, to live on this planet, to create their own cultural expression of truth and life.
That many times my students come to Red Lodge with a foundation of teachings and wisdom that they've already gained from their life experience. And within Red Lodge, many times we give additional wisdom and teachings and often reassemble the wisdom that you have in a way that you can access it even stronger. Anyone coming to Red Lodge does not have to give up anything else that they've already been engaging with. It's more a yes and how it can be complementary. And so that's what's important, is to honor all the work and the healing and the epiphanies and illuminations and everything you've done in your self-discovery. And that is that seeking, curious, explorative soul that's going to come to Red Lodge and ask for more.
This particular path, we have people that are studying it and teaching it on several continents on the planet. It's a very specific approach to spirituality and to living well. And it's not everybody's cup of tea. You have to try it before you know if it's going to work for you or not.
There are multiple ways in which a seeker, a student of knowledge, any human being interested can participate in ongoing purification ceremonies, renewal ceremonies, such as our SunDance, so that everyone is welcome.
In days of yore, it used to be done in villages, and people would come together. They lived together, so it was easy to meet, and it was easy to learn and train and discuss and have ceremonial experiences, etc.
I feel very connected to this community, very much a part of what happens with the apprentices in Australia. And as I support the growth of that community, they all support my growth as the teacher. So it's definitely a co-empowering two-way channel for all of us.
No, you're not alone. You're not only in your own year, but there's other students from other years that are studying at the same time. And then there's teachers, and then there's people that are assisting and helping with it. So it's really a very vibrant, multi-level community experience in a spiritual realm.
I would say that, different teachings resonate with different individuals, but the common thread is either this is my tribe, I found my people, I found a sense of community, I feel belonging.
If you go through a year like this, 5 sessions a week on the land, with the same people that are studying with you, the depth of connection, the depth of knowing one another, the appreciation for the other's will and determination, their appreciation for you and how and who you are in your own unique way, this builds and builds. And there's nothing like the beauty and the power that happens when you go through a year experience with the same group of people.
Or another common thread that people say is, I feel like I'm home. I feel like I already know these teachings. I feel like I've been here before. And in a sense, that's true. If you believe in reincarnation, many times we've been in other lifetimes together as a soul pod, and now we're finding each other again here in Red Lodge or within the Red Lodge community.
It's a haven where I can see that I can grow. And I also have seen so many others grow as well.
What is shamanism, and how is this lineage different?
Shamanism is one of those words that has many different associations, and you will find many different variations of it on the internet and in many different cultures.
Shamanism, in the sense of what Red Lodge offers, is to truly connect to nature as a way to heal and evolve. Nature being like the worlds of Grandmother Earth, and the mineral world, the plant world, the animal world, the human world, the spiritual world, as far as the ancestors and all of those spirit beings.
The fundamental quality of a shaman is someone who is able to stand in between the worlds, someone who's able to be completely connected to spirit, to the invisible, to the energetic streams and energies that exist, and to be able to access that in a healing manner, to bring to the people, to bring to the planet, to take we call it the as above, and bring it into the so below in such a way that there is restoration, that there is healing, and that there is renewal. That for me is the essence of shamanism.
We have the various ceremonies we do for the different levels of Red Lodge. One of the things we learned to do that's so simple but so important is to do ceremonies with trees. And anytime that, I feel I need to rebalance, I can go and make this connection with a very simple ritual with a tree and rebalance myself. Other times, we will go into a purification lodge where we're working with the powers of creation. You're inside this womb space of this structure that actually supports your prayers, of a mesa working where there's power items and the elements and the worlds represented in an engagement where you dream into a mesa and gain profound insights and illuminations. Ceremony helps us to lighten up from our wounding, from our old stories and mythology that we've encoded as pain, for those sabotaging blocks and habits that take us out, that it's kind of the door in just to this continuous kind of journey to evolve your soul.
We use a term, this is my medicine, or this is your medicine. And in the Western culture, medicine means the pills you get prescribed to you by the doctor. We also have, beautiful medicines from Eastern approaches, like the, medicine of different plants that are healing. Yeah. When we talk about medicine in this lineage, we're talking about several different things. That term is used for several different things.
The medicine science, the animal world is all around us, especially in Australia. They're profoundly present. You cannot ignore the Australian animals, particularly the birds.
So we might say that an animal has this type of medicine, and what we're saying is that it has a specific kind of gift that it offers.
And when you can suddenly have a conscious connection with the animals that show up in your life, or you can relate to your particular allies that are your supporters, it's like recognizing that within Red Lodge, you open yourself up to a whole bigger resource circle.
I have my own medicine. I'm not the same as you are. And therefore I have my own ways and my own places where I'm really natural and skilled and shining. That would be my medicine. Yeah. And then I have a good friend who has a completely different medicine and is able to do something that I wouldn't even come close to. And that's fine. It's like, a mouse is not an elephant, and a tree is not a flower. So that's a sort of a broad term, a broad description of how we use the word medicine. There's also the question about inside of this shamanic path, what about the medicine of, we call them teacher plants.
So teacher plants are a wonderful part of the medicine of the plant world. It's very specific and it's very powerful, and it's not something that we include inside Red Lodge at all.
Within our path of Red Lodge, we honor what we call the teacher plants or the catalyst plants that are in the center, the hallucinogenic plants, even marijuana, ayahuasca, San Pedro. We honor the spirit of those plants. And because there's no separation, we actually don't ingest those plants to be able to align with them and work with them.
No interference between who we are, how we think and feel, what our experience of spirit is, so that it can be genuine to us. And it's not because of a plant. It's not because of a substance that we make that connection. And so we actually do our programs and ceremonies inside Red Lodge completely without any teacher plants.
There are shamanic lineages that people seek where they can have an experience with a plant journey, with a shaman who guides their experience with cactus to hallucinate or expand or go into altered level of consciousness. And we do that in various ways within Red Lodge, but without using the actual plant as the alchemy that we work with.
And we have in this particular lineage an incredible respect for the medicine of these teacher plants.
And so that's where it's a lot different of what some people are looking for, because it's quite popular today to have plant journeys. And yet, what I would say with our alchemy and Red Lodge, there's the plant world is just one world of Grandmother Earth. There's many other ways to experience creation with a sober mind and an open heart and a deeply profound connection.
Why would somebody come to Red Lodge? What might they get out of these teachings? So it's going to be a very unique and individual experience.
If there's something that's healing, evolutionary, going to profoundly impact the planet in a positive way, then that's what I want to share. And that's what my teacher would share with me. And that's what I would share with you as your teacher.
The things that I got inside of Red Lodge as I began studying is a whole broad body of knowledge that made sense to me.
I was a Red Lodge student. I went to Red Lodge and beyond. And I found Red Lodge deeply confronting at times of my own shadow. I found that it made me open up to wanting more, to keep growing, to be a better version of myself.
There was a connection. All of a sudden, it wasn't just experiences of prayers that seemed forever unanswered, but it was actually like communication with spirit that became palpable for me.
What really attracted me, if I was totally honest, was this concept of magic, like sorcery in the light.
Having better tools and better ways to engage what life is bringing me so that my life is solid and happy, grounded, and even in the troubled times, I'm able to find a way forward that I can be proud of.
And so I don't have to be stewing around in my soup, triggered or anxious or whatever I'm feeling, that I actually have tools and resources that I can apply to myself and that students can apply to themselves to find that balance, to get back into a more neutral kind of way of being.
I love the Red Lodge. It's just a beautiful way to be introduced to a whole new, open-minded, loving space of learning.
We are a ceremonial, alchemical lodge of wisdom and healing. And we really do take a stand for the evolution of your soul.
The planet is going through a challenging time. And we experience that by seeing the wars that are going on. We as humans are in a state of great change. The change is needed. The change is needed. It's time to shake things up and move into a different way to approach living.
And the great work is how we truly shed the things that we've taken on that are not part of our naturalness, and how we find that inner light and to shine with our individuality and to step into our autonomy.
It creates individuals who are willing to, who are inspired and willing to make a difference on this planet, to help restore balance, to bring healing, understanding, and genuine benevolent compassion to the people.
This path is not for the faint-hearted. It's a rigorous path that takes discipline, focus, and follow through. And those are new skills for a lot of people. Learning how to exercise your free will is kind of the secret sauce that I would say is underneath the challenges that are part of Red Lodge, and we're benevolent about it. As a year one teacher, I'm meeting you where you are so that you can understand how to keep moving forward step by step.
Red Lodge really gives guidelines and tools and roadmaps for how to navigate in a sacred way, in a good way, right now, while we're going through so much transformation on the planet.
There's always an interconnection and overlaying of knowledge, of experience, of ceremony that allows a human being to integrate it. It activates a memory within the individual of knowledge that they know.
It's pragmatic. It's meant to be used in our lives, in our day-to-day life. So it's not just like, ooh, airy-fairy kind of thing. It's actually something we can engage moment by moment, day to day.
You're investing in your own healing, your own self-exploration, and your own kind of soul's journey. You can sign up for it until you experience it for yourself. Each individual is there getting what they need for themselves. Whatever that is, that longing, that searching, that healing, it's there.
It really feeds what each individual needs.
That's the beauty of this path. There's no ceiling. There's no endpoint. There's no destination. There's always more.
What we are able to share together in Red Lodge gives me hope.